Good morning. Is leadership dead? Is leadership all but gone? Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here. I am glad to be here. Where is leadership? Recently, I was on a flight. The flight attendants were moving up and down the aisles like they always do. They seemed a little grumpy. They got their job done. As soon as they were done, they were standing at the back of the airplane. Male and female flight attendant. Anyway, I went back to use the restroom as a newer airplane, and I looked to see, what does this mean? Does it mean somebody's occupied or unoccupied? And they immediately volunteered and said, take either one you want. They're both empty. I said, okay, thank you. I opened up the door, looked in, and there's a little bit of trash on the floor. And I've developed a habit over the last year that when I leave the bathroom, no matter how dirty it was when I got in it, I can leave it cleaner than when I leave it. So I opened the door and I said, oh, there's a little bit of a mess in here, but I'll take care of it. And they said, no, hey, look, you can go in the other one across the hall. I said, no, I want this one. So I went in, it wasn't a big deal. Took out some paper towels, cleaned it up after it, made sure it looked good, walked out, gave them a thumbs up, said, looks great. And they said, well, you didn't have to do that. We don't clean them. It's not our job. I said, well, oh. And they reiterated it several times. Hey, we don't do that. That's not our job. You didn't do anything for us, basically, is what they're saying. And in the moment, I didn't know what to say. So I just simply said, well, I just like to leave things better than they were when I got there. I wish I'd have said something else. The best response came later, and the best response was, I didn't do it for you. I did it for everybody else, for those that follow. And that's leadership, is kind of legacy, isn't it? So contrast that moment and the attitude of the flight attendants on that flight and how they affected every passenger that was on that plane. They had the opportunity to affect 150 people getting off and on that plane. Contrast it with my very next flight. Flight attendants were joyful. They sounded alive when they gave out the introduction, and they were pleasant. They came up and down the aisles. They didn't stand in the back and chat. They were constantly making sure we were okay with smiles on their face. We landed, and you know how you're waiting for that ding? It goes ding, and everybody's got their seatbelt unfastened, is ready for start go. And so ding, and the flight attendant, she goes, get out of here. And everybody just burst into laughter. And we went off of that plane feeling good. 150 people feeling great. Going out into the world. Now, John Maxwell said, if you could define leadership in one word, what would that one word be? And he said influence. Influence. Now, both groups of flight attendants influence the others. So you can be a leader for bad or you can be a leader for good, but we're all leaders. Every one of us are leaders. There's somebody's eyes on you all the time. You have influence, and you alone own your own influence. You cannot delegate it. You cannot give it away. You own it every second of every day. So the world needs more. You cannot give all the good the world needs. But the world needs all the good you can give. And that's how we can be good leaders. Is we can make a contribution instead of looking around and complaining. People are drawn to rivers. People are drawn to the rivers. They want to be with the flow. And if you can have that attitude, that get out of here attitude, get out of here, then you're going to influence for good. You're going to have a positive influence on this world, and we need more of that. We may not be able to change the things that we think can be better leaders, but if we can start focusing arrows out instead of all about ourselves, if we can start paying attention to others and what's my responsibility versus their responsibility and laying blame, all the stuff that goes on, and just be arrows out with what we do, then we can get out of here. We can make a difference. So look at your influence this week. Look at every word you say. Look at every smile you give. Look at every handshake you do. Look at every person you help. Look at every situation and ask, how can I make this situation better? Even if it's just picking up the trash in the bathroom. But it's not my job. Yes, it is. You're here. And you're an influencer. So let's have an influential week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.